I don't come from a family where people have been traditionally associated with the social sector. मैंने भी अपनी शुरुआत engineering से ही की थी. But I always think if you want to improve, you should compare yourself to the times you want to reach. There is nothing simple about this. मतलब you have to be willing to work hard. आपको मेहनत करनी होगी women empowerment करने के लिए और gender equality लाने के लिए.
So today we have with us Miss Smriti Kedia. Smriti ji is CEO of Sadhana. Well, I'll leave it over to Smriti ji to let the audience know what is Sadhana and what legacy it carries. Smriti ji, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And please audience को साधना के बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Hello everyone. Udaipur is a beautiful city and I'm very happy to be here at the Udaipur blog, especially representing Sadhana. Sadhana is a women artisan based enterprise that started as an NGO project about 30 years ago and then went on to become an independent social enterprise. It has 700 women artisans from in and around Udaipur, from rural areas, urban areas who are connected to it, who are shareholders in the organization and who make beautiful garments and home furnishing for your house.
Wow. So 30 years.
Yeah.
That's been a great journey. I'm sure काफी लोगों को साधना के बारे में नहीं पता होगा उदयपुर में कि 30 years से इतना एक बड़ी चीज exist करती है. So how many artisans do you work with or how big is Sadhana? How big is this family?
So the Sadhana family is 700 artisans as of now, and all are women artisans. Like 99% of Sadhana is women, and I have been fortunate to be a part of this beautiful journey very recently. But this legacy has been carried down by great stalwarts in the social sector. एंड 1988 में सेवा मंदिर के एक प्रोजेक्ट की तरह शुरू हुआ था साधना, और उस समय फोकस यही था कि महिलाओं को आत्मनिर्भर कैसे बनाएं, वो ऐसा क्या काम कर सकती हैं जिससे उनकी कोई सप्लीमेंट्री आमदनी हो. एंड आज की भी हकीकत है और तब ज़्यादा कि महिलाओं को घर से निकलने नहीं दिया जाया करता था काम करने के लिए. आज भी वो है कई जगह पे. तब साधना ने ये डिसाइड किया कि कैसे काम किया जाए कि उनको घर बैठे बैठे इनकम जनरेशन की अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले. और तभी जो है ये टेक्सटाइल क्राफ्ट की कपड़े के ऊपर कढ़ाई या बुनाई इस तरीके का काम वो सीखें और घर से करें. तो इसी से शुरुआत हुई थी 1988 में. एंड लीला जी was the first CEO who actually laid the foundation stone and built Sadhana into what it is. And then Seema ji joined as the CEO, and then I've come in now. So 2004 mein Sadhana became an independent enterprise. It was today it is self-sustainable. It is able to manage its expenses on its own and take care of all the women who are a part of it.
Wow, that has been an amazing journey, I'm sure. So एक social enterprise और एक NGO में क्या difference होता है? मतलब काफी लोगों के लिए इट्स समथिंग सिमिलर, मेरे लिए भी, मुझे भी काफी वक्त तक लगता था. इट्स वन एंड द सेम थिंग. सो इफ यू कुड संक्षिप्त में अगर आप इसके बारे में कुछ एक बता सकें.
Yeah, so NGOs have also evolved with time. जो हम NGOs को समझा करते थे वो अब NGOs नहीं रहे. They are very professionally run bodies many a times. And पहले बहुत charity mode था कि जैसे आप डोनेशन दे रहे हो किताबें ब्लैंकेट्स खरीदने के लिए. दैट इज वन फॉर्म, वन वेरी स्मॉल फॉर्म ऑफ द एनजीओ सेक्टर. बट द एनजीओ सेक्टर हैज इवॉल्व्ड वेरी प्रोफेशनली. वहाँ बहुत मतलब पीपल आर फोकसिंग ऑन लॉन्ग टर्म इंटरवेंशन इन कम्युनिटीज कि अगर हम महिलाओं के साथ काम कर रहे हैं या बच्चों के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, वी हैव अ लॉन्ग टर्म विजन फॉर देम बेस्ड ऑन विच वी वर्क एंड वी कीप देम एट द सेंटर. It's not that उनको कुछ दे दिया तो we want to empower them that they are able to build their own lives. So that is the real definition of a professionally run NGO. The second thing is what differentiates us or a social enterprise from an NGO. एक social enterprise कैसे अलग है, तो ये भी एक बहुत डिबेटेड एरिया है, अलग अलग तरीके के मॉडल्स हैं, लेकिन एक सोशल एंटरप्राइज जैसे कि साधना है, वो एक बहुत डेमोक्रेटिक मॉडल है जिसमें it is all about women forming the organization, running the organization, taking decisions in the organization, and at the end of the day जो भी organization profit बनाती है वो वापस उन महिलाओं के उधार में ही जाता है, back to the community. So there is no one person making a profit here. Everything is going back to the community, and that is what makes a social enterprise special, that its primary agenda is not profit making, but the primary agenda is community development, working for its target audience, and even the profits are again directed in the same direction.
Wow, I'm sure that is real empowerment. So अगले क्वेश्चन पर हम आते हैं कि साधना के पहले भी आप सोशल सेक्टर में काफी एक्टिव रहे हैं. हाउ हैव बीन द अर्ली डेज फॉर यू?
They have been very fulfilling, I must say, and so I don't come from a family where people have been traditionally associated with the social sector, and मैंने भी अपनी शुरुआत इंजीनियरिंग से ही की थी. जैसे कि मैं हैदराबाद से हूँ, तो हम लोग अधिकतर इंजीनियरिंग और मेडिकल ही करते हैं, तो मैंने भी वही किया था. And then this sector always attracted me. So when I finished my engineering, I decided that I want to do something that I love. And that is where I took a break also, and I traveled and I met people. I lived with some communities in rural areas, and then I joined Tata Institute of Social Sciences and started my proper career in the social sector there.
Wow.
And being associated before Sadhana for the last 10 years, I have been associated with the space of reproductive and menstrual health.
Wow.
And also with the space of women in enterprise. So my first love is actually women, and then looking at women through how can we build enterprise in their lives. That is one. And secondly, how can we improve the quality of their life? So that is where the agenda of reproductive health came in. तो कई चीजें मतलब रही पिछले कई सालों में जो बहुत एनरिचिंग थी.
सो इंजीनियरिंग से सोशल सेक्टर का जो ये सफर है, आई एम श्योर यहाँ पर बहुत इंजीनियर्स इस वीडियो को देख रहे होंगे, तो ऐसा क्या आपके लिए टर्निंग पॉइंट रहा या क्या पॉइंट ऑफ रियलाइजेशन रहा जहां पर आपने ये डिसाइड किया कि ओके, आई वांट टू डू दिस?
Yeah, because somehow I think I didn't know what I loved doing till I joined engineering and till I completed it. There is a turning point, no, when you come at the crossroads and you're supposed to take these decisions कि अब क्या करें next. So somehow for me at that point in time, I realized that I want to do something that I love, and I should be doing something that I love for the rest of my life. And it was very clear to me that it has to be something to do with people, because I love working with people. And engineering में भी मैं मतलब I was popular/unpopular for doing a lot of things. जैसे strike भी करवाई थी कॉलेज में, river cleaning भी कराई थी. So somehow that was always attractive to me. And then I decided I want to go there. I did my research. I discovered Tata Institute of Social Sciences is the best in the country. And I just made up my mind that that's where I need to go. And I did not apply for anything else. I just applied for that one college, and I made sure that I get there.
Wow, that's impressive. So as you have said, आप पिछले 10-12 साल से आप सोशल सेक्टर से जुड़े हुए हैं. So what have been your experience on the situation of women overall? आपका क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है कि महिलाओं की क्या स्थिति रही है उदयपुर के आसपास और ओवरऑल इंडिया में? उनका एक सोशल, उनका एम्पावरमेंट क्या रहा है, कैसा रहा है? क्या कोई प्रोग्रेस हुई है इस दौरान, नहीं हुई है? आपको क्या लगता है?
Progress definitely hui hai. There has been improvement if we compare ourselves to earlier times. But I always think if you want to improve, you should compare yourself to the times you want to reach.
Mhm.
And उस हिसाब से देखें तो there are many gaps even today. For instance, there are pockets where one can claim or families claim to be, very open about getting their daughters educated. But still, there's so many things in daily life where, women become secondary to everything that we decide. So
Is it urban scenarios or rural scenarios?
see, the rural will always follow the urban.
Okay.
If you see trends, so we have to be very conscious of what we do in our urban, because the rural follows that thereafter. So in both the scenarios, I think status of women doesn't change. Maybe it is more visible to our eyes in the rural areas, but everything that should not happen is also happening in the urban areas. So I think we are on the right track. We are talking about these subjects. We are on the right track, but we have a lot to achieve even now. And I think a good beginning point will really be acknowledging that women are there and they are as powerful and as ambitious and as intelligent as men, and they have an equal right to live. So the moment you start recognizing that there is this other gender women that exists, you will start changing life for them. And that they are breathing human beings with intelligent minds who have their choices and voices and likes and dislikes. So I think that is a good beginning point. But um, उदयपुर की अगर मैं बात करूं, उदयपुर हैज ऑलवेज बीन एन एनजीओ हब. यहाँ पे बहुत सारी सामाजिक संस्थाएं हैं और अभी से नहीं, 50 सालों से हैं. उसका कारण ये है कि यहाँ के सोशल इंडिकेटर्स कभी भी बहुत एनकरेजिंग नहीं थे. एंड अब हम उदयपुर सिटी को देखें तो काफ़ी चीज़ें बदल गई हैं. लेकिन आप उदयपुर सिटी से 50 किलोमीटर दूर चले जाइए एंड आपको यकीन ही नहीं होगा कि आप एक सिटी लिमिट को छोड़ के आए हो. थिंग्स जस्ट चेंज. मैलन्यूट्रिशन है, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस है, माइग्रेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ नहीं है, एंड बहुत ज़्यादा गरीबी है जो आपको हिट करती है फेस में. सो उदयपुर सिटी मेरे को लगता है एक कोकून है. आप उसके बाहर जाएंगे तो आपको रियल नज़ारे नजर आएंगे जहाँ पे बहुत काम करने की जरूरत है अभी.
So what are the top 3 areas where you feel women can be empowered, और कुछ taboos है या कुछ चीजें या कुछ challenges जो women face करती है उदयपुर एंड इस जोन में?
See, टॉप 3 आई डोंट नो, बट जितना मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस में देखा है, सबसे पहले जैसे आज भी चाइल्ड मैरिजेस बहुत कॉमन है हमारे आसपास के एरियाज में. वो मतलब अलग तरीके से होती हैं जिसको लीगली कभी हम पकड़ नहीं पाते, लेकिन चाइल्ड मैरिजेस आर कॉमन. विमेन अर्ली प्रेगनेंसी इज कॉमन. हम कई बार ट्रेनिंग्स में जाते थे तो 16-16 साल की, 15-15 साल की लड़कियां एक बेबी के साथ आती थी. सो दीज आर द फैक्ट्स. दूसरा, मैलन्यूट्रिशन इज कॉमन. अगर आप आसपास चले जाएं, ये उदयपुर एक बहुत बड़ा माइग्रेशन हब है. यहाँ से वर्कर्स बाहर भी जाते हैं काम करने के लिए और बाहर के लोग यहाँ पे भी आते हैं काम करने के लिए. और जितनी भी ये इंडस्ट्रीज हैं ये साइलेंस में ऑपरेट करती हैं. आपको पता भी नहीं चलता अंदर क्या हो रहा है. कोई रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं है, कोई मतलब लिखा पढ़ी नहीं है कौन आ रहा है कौन जा रहा है. तो ऐसे में अगर किसी को कुछ हो गया, देयर इज नो लीगल वेरिफिकेशन ऑफ इट. सो मतलब these are areas. There are villages you will find where children start migrating at the age of 16 to work in the neighboring states. और ऐसी जगहों पे आप देखेंगे सिर्फ विमेन रह जाती है. Men migrate, the male children have migrated, women are getting married at young ages. तो single women वाले villages आपको नजर आएंगे. तो ये सब challenges हैं. एंड अभी भी वर्क अपॉर्चुनिटी एजुकेशन बहुत ही लिमिटेड है महिलाओं के लिए, तो उनके लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है कोई भी जॉब ढूंढना या अपने पैरों पे खड़े आना. दे आर सो डिपेंडेंट फॉर मनी on others. And with this with this scenario of migration, often their lives become very miserable after they don't have a husband or the husband has left. So yeah, those are some of the areas. I don't know if I've answered top three, but yeah, those are some of the areas that concern me.
That's definitely a matter of concern. So, okay, so coming to the urban scenarios, the word feminism has been a buzzword from quite long. What is your take on it? Because people have लोगों के अलग अलग परसेप्शन बने हुए हैं. कोई फेमिनिज्म को किसी नजर से देखता है, कोई फेमिनिज्म को किसी नजर से देखता है. ये एक शब्द है जिसके अलग अलग मायने, या हाथी के चार पांव आप कह सकते हैं, चार अंधों ने जो डिस्क्राइब किए थे. तो आपकी नजर में फेमिनिज्म क्या है, एंड हाउ इट इज अ पॉजिटिव थिंग व्हिच कैन maybe impact the world?
So, to me, feminism is simple. It is about accepting that, there is this other gender and bringing it to the center of the table. Bringing the female form in the center of the table and acknowledging that they exist, as I already said. The moment you can do that, you will be able to accept that, they have ambitions that must be respected. You will be able to accept that they were not born in this world only to feed and breed children. That they may choose to have the life they want just like anybody else. They may choose to be single and they cannot be criticized for it. They may choose to divorce, they cannot be criticized for it. They may choose to work while having a family and they should not be criticized for it. So I think the moment you start acknowledging that there is this other gender that is equally capable and powerful, if not more, that is feminism to me. As simple as that. So it has the power to change the world because you make the world a more equal place. You just open the second eye, which is probably closed for so long. So I think, feminism is something for the sake of convenience, we've started criticizing, just like we started criticizing liberalism. So, I think feminism is beautiful and everybody is a feminist. The moment they've taken birth through a woman in this world, we are all, we have to be feminists. We are all feminists. And yeah.
So स्मृति जी, कैसे मेल्स की भागीदारी रह सकती है फेमिनिज्म के लिए, या जेंडर इक्वालिटी अचीव करने के लिए, जिसे हम कह सकते हैं कि एक्नॉलेज, जैसा आपने कहा, एक्नॉलेज किया जाए, तो हाउ कैन मेल्स हेल्प इन ब्रिंगिंग दिस सोसाइटी मेकिंग?
Yeah, it's not actually men or the males who need to bring in gender equality. I mean, we need to start with them, but it is the whole community that needs to start working towards it. Like, we need to be better parents, we need to be better brothers and sisters, we need to be better teachers, who are able to raise better boys and men. It is not the fault of men that they do not acknowledge the other gender. It's the problem of the way the society has shown them that path, and it's a problem in the upbringing. When there are two children growing in a household, if we start teaching only the girl how to start managing a kitchen from when she's at a very young age, then that is the fault. Teach both. Both need to cook, both need to eat. If you start justifying or start questioning a woman coming late from work, but it's okay for a boy to come back late from work, then that is where you corrupt the mind. Yeah, so I would just say, be better parents, be better teachers, and be a better society.
So, question both or question none? Boy or girl coming late?
Question both. Be concerned for both, be protective for both, but give both enough freedom to execute their choices.
That's a great thought. So, since you're working in an all women sector, यहाँ पर कितना जरूरी आप समझते हैं for women to lift each other up?
Yeah, you mean all women organization like Sadhana?
Right.
Yeah. It is very important because for many women, you know, coming to work is liberation. Coming to work is getting away from problems at home, and they find support in each other. And so organizations like Sadhana are not just, you know, organizations where we all come to work. It's a space where we come, we share our problems. It's a space where you realize you're not the only one with these issues, you know, and she too has her set of challenges. And unless you support each other, you know, sometimes it's just about having someone to hear you out. And I think that is the beauty of such organizations. You have women who can hear you out. You have women who relate to what you're saying. You have women who can just tell you it's okay, you'll be fine. You know, nobody needs solutions always. You cannot solve someone else's problems always. But you can just be there telling them that, you know, I moved through this in this way and you'll be fine too. So I think that kind of environment is what these organizations offer to their women. But at the same time, it will be great if you know, we in future we don't have to talk about all women organizations. You know, these spaces had to be created because women needed these kind of space. But ideally, if all organizations can become as sensitive, then we don't need these kind of spaces. You know, everything can be with men and women together.
That's a noble thought. That's really great thought. So, who are the people who inspire you and why?
So I'm very lucky that I get my inspiration on a daily basis when I probably go into my production unit and I meet my artisans. Um, I'll start you one of when you talk about inspiration, I am immediately taken back to Madhya Pradesh in Hoshangabad, where I was working with this organization as a student. It was the time I was doing my MA research. And I met this gentleman who was 96-year-old, and I went to meet him. He was really old. He had just one bag and he was traveling. And he pulled out from that little bag, the moment he saw me, he sat with me. Then he pulled out a little kadhai and a little bag of pohe, and he made poha for me.
Oh.
And he said, we'll eat while we talk. And then he tells me that he was very passionate about organic farming and what was happening to our fields because of, you know, so many corporations pushing for pesticides and for genetically modified seeds was very troublesome for him. And he decided that as long as he lives, he'll walk around, meet farmers and educate them on organic farming. And he would carry his jhola with whatever he required, the bare minimum. So I think that was my first real source of inspiration. You know, maybe I felt a connect of what I want to do, you know, or how I want my life to end. So that was beautiful meeting this man. And then, you know, on daily basis when we interact with artisans, you see some of them have such beautiful stories, you know, like they have moved out of difficult situations in their life and they have changed their life entirely. And you are inspired just looking at them that they'd never had the resources. They had such challenging situations in front of them, but they were able to take that first step of leaving it behind and stepping into something that was absolute vacuum. They didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't know how they were going to feed their younger ones the next day. But they took that step in the hope to build a better life for themselves. And I think that inspires me. Those are the people who inspire me. And those are the people who should occupy all interview chairs.
Okay, we are looking forward to covering them in our next, in some next creative series. So if my bosses are watching this, please take a note. So coming to the theme of the series, ऐसे कोई moments आपकी life में रहे हैं जहां आपने अपने ऊपर या किसी अपने खुद से जुड़े किसी के साथ आपने ये चीज होते देखी है कि जहां उनको कहा गया हो कि ये मर्दों की दुनिया है या ये मर्दों का काम है, आप इसमें क्या कर रहे हो, आप क्यों कर रहे हो ये चीज? ऐसा कोई वाकया या ऐसा कुछ आप शेयर करना चाहें अगर?
Actually, I can't think of any specific वाक्य, but मुझे लगता है कि ये हमारे आसपास हर जगह होता है. Right from the time you sit into a car, the woman is expected to sit behind and the men will occupy the front seat. या फिर लड़कों को गाड़ी चलाना पहले सिखा देते हैं, है ना, टू व्हीलर भी दे दी जाती है एंड यू आर ऑलवेज वेरी स्केर्ड लड़कियों को देने से पहले. कमेंट्स भी ऐसे ही होते हैं ना कि अच्छा लड़की गाड़ी चला रही थी तो एक्सीडेंट होगा, जबकि फैक्ट्स विल शो यू कि ज्यादा एक्सीडेंट्स लड़के करते हैं. सो यू नो ये बहुत होता है. आई रिमेम्बर हम स्कूल में थे तो हमारे पास कई ऑप्शंस होते थे वर्क एक्सपीरियंस में. इलेक्ट्रिकल रिपेयर, कारपेंट्री, कंप्यूटर्स एंड नीडल वर्क. एंड I was the only girl in carpentry. I loved carpentry for some reason. And I was very good at it also. मैं हमेशा A grade लाती थी carpentry में. हाँ, I was आराम से 100 वो लेके काट लेती थी अकेले. But somehow I think एक बार क्या हुआ, कुछ हुआ होगा, नीडल वर्क में कम बच्चे होंगे. So there was this sudden rule कि जितनी लड़कियां हैं carpentry में उन सबको नीडल वर्क में जाना होगा. And I remember मेरे अलावा शायद दूसरी क्लासेस में कुछ लड़कियां होंगी, सबको नीडल वर्क में भेज दिया. बट आई स्टूड माई ग्राउंड. आई सेड सर आई विल नॉट गो टू नीडल वर्क, मेरे को बिल्कुल इंटरेस्ट नहीं है नीडल वर्क में, एंड आई विल डू कारपेंट्री. एंड आई रिमेम्बर एट दैट टाइम माई कारपेंट्री star stood for me and he took a permission and he stood for me and said she will not go in needlework. And then I was the only one in my class who continued in carpentry. So back then, you know, we didn't take these incidents seriously, you know. Matlab, theek hai, we continued in carpentry. But today when I look back, I'm like, that was such a gender-biased decision by the school. Maybe by one person, maybe without giving it enough thought. But how important it is for your teacher to stand up for you. You know, had my teacher not supported me, maybe I would have fought for myself. But his standing made a lot of difference. The whole debate just came crumbling down, and period, you know, I was allowed to do what I wanted to. So I think our schools need to be very conscious. जैसे अभी online classes चल रही हैं. The other day I was hearing the teacher teach something in civics. तो वो कोई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन समझा रही थी. सो हर एग्जाम्पल वाज इमीडिएटली जैसे कि आपकी मम्मी घर पे ध्यान रखती है ना सब लोगों का किचन में, और पापा ऑफिस जाते हैं. सो कॉन्शियसली वी नीड टू मेक श्योर कि हम ऐसे एग्जाम्पल्स नहीं दे रहे हैं. यू नो, जैसे हमारी टेक्स्ट बुक्स में भी होता था ना, राधा कपड़े धो रही है, राजू स्कूल जा रहा है, you know. So we have to ensure that हम उसको equal कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम realize नहीं करते लेकिन ये हमारे दिमाग में बैठ जाता है. The person who took that decision to send all the girls to needlework didn't mean to do any harm, but it was the way he thought, the way the society made him think कि you know लड़कियां हैं तो needlework ही करेंगी, carpentry कैसे करेंगी. So everywhere this is there. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question.
You definitely have answered it correctly, and correctly तो क्या, these things help एक society, modern society बनाने में, and by modern I mean an empowered society बनाने में, एक balanced society बनाने में. So स्मृति जी, apart from this, जैसा आपने कहा कि बहुत छोटे छोटे incidents होते हैं जहाँ पर जैसे एक लेडी से एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है वो गाड़ी की बैक सीट पे बैठे या ड्राइव ना करे. सो आपके ऐसे कोई लोग क्या कहेंगे वाले मोमेंट्स रहे हैं कि ये चीज मत करो, लोग क्या कहेंगे, या क्या मुझे ये करना चाहिए, लोग क्या कहेंगे वाली चीज, ऐसे कभी कुछ रहे हैं आपके लाइफ में?
बहुत ज्यादा. I've been very lucky that I had parents who didn't bring us up like this, and you know I cannot quote anything, but वो subtly हर जगह होता ही है.
But then आपके पेरेंट्स बहुत हेल्पफुल होते हैं, तो there's some distant relative or some
yeah, so
teacher या कोई.
Yeah, so जैसे family में I was always, for example, it's the way people call you a tomboy. And now that whole word is problematic. You don't have to be a tomboy, you're just a girl who is of a different style from many others you would have seen. So I was always called the tomboy, which I never understood, and even today I don't understand very well why does it have to be that way. And from the beginning, we've been in charge of our household. Motor खराब हो रही है तो हम कर रहे हैं काम, उसको ठीक करा रहे हैं, electrical repairs करना है, carpenter को बुलाना है, so we've really run the house like any other boy would be expected to do. So in that sense, I think we are lucky कि we never bothered लोग क्या कहेंगे, and we were lucky to experience that freedom in doing what you feel like without bothering about log kya kahenge. And I think that is what forms my interest in why I want to work with women. So at the end of the day they can reach not bothering about log kya kahenge, wo wahan tak pahunch jaye ki हमें चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है लोग क्या करेंगे.
That's a great spirit. Regarding the term gender equality and women empowerment, ऐसी क्या सिंपल बातें हैं जो आप ऑडियंस को कहना चाहें जिसे वो सीखे और जाने, जो उनके जानने लायक है?
Firstly, women empowerment, gender equality, ये सब एक ही दिशा में जाते हुए शब्द हैं. And there is nothing simple about this. मतलब you have to be willing to work hard. आपको मेहनत करनी होगी women empowerment करने के लिए और gender equality लाने के लिए, क्योंकि ये इतने सालों से ये बायस जो है हमारे अंदर भरा गया है, हमारे अंदर ही नहीं generations से आ रहा है. तो there is no simple way. I cannot give you a simple tip. But अगर मुझे कहना है तो I will go back to what I said, that start acknowledging the other in the room. Start acknowledging that they are intelligent human beings with ambitions and wishes, and start listening to them. That can be a very good beginning. And empowerment is not a fruit that we are all trying to reach and pluck. Empowerment is actually मतलब वो खाद है, वो खाद है. It will strengthen the roots and make a beautiful tree. So you cannot do it as it has to come from within. The society needs to bring it in every way possible, and it will take many years, but you have to begin.
That was a lovely answer. Now the last question, I would say, so using this platform, ये मंच यूज करते हुए आप उदयपुर ब्लॉग के ऑडियंस को या इस वीडियो को देखने वाले किसी भी ऑडियंस तक एक सेंटेंस में कुछ एक मैसेज जो पहुंचाना चाहें, वो क्या रहेगा आपका?
So my message will be very simple. Udaipur is a beautiful city. Keep it beautiful in every way, and we must all aim to make our lives more sustainable. And sustainable से मेरा मतलब है कि हम जो भी करें उसमें हम ध्यान रखें कि हम पर्यावरण को कोई नुकसान नहीं पहुंचा रहे, जो लोग हमारे आसपास हैं उनका भी फायदा हो रहा है साथ में. So that will be sustainable living. So we must practice that.
Thank you, Smriti ji, for your time. This brings us to the end of this interview, and we'll sure have you again on our munch, on our platform very soon. तब ढेर सारी बातें रह गई है अभी भी जो हम अगले सीरीज में कवर करेंगे आने वाले वक्त में. So stay tuned to उदयपुर ब्लॉग, and आपको कुछ भी और सवाल हो या आपके कुछ भी और ग्रीवेंसेस हो जो आप स्मृति जी से पूछना चाहते हैं तो हमारे कमेंट सेक्शंस में आप जरूर ये चीज लिख सकते हैं, and we'll make sure स्मृति जी तक ये बातें जरूर पहुंचे. So as a token of love, we have a small gift for you. So okay, so this is a small
Thank you
token
so
of
much.
love.
It means a lot. Thank you so much, team.
From Team Udaipur Blog and Team Mukaya as well.
Okay.
And as a part of our custom, we'll also be having, let's take a selfie.